Can I help you? Take your hands off me. Hi, I'm Scott Rogers. Today we're going to focus on Kyusho Jitsu pressure point striking and its relationship to punch defenses and moving attacks. When dealing with punches and moving attacks, it's not enough to know what to hit and where to hit, but you need to create an opening to be close enough and to be able to defend properly without getting struck. What we're going to focus on is 3 basic systems of blocking. The 3 systems are going to determine which way the person can attack you. So rather than allowing him to punch wherever he wants, depending on how you hold your hands, you're going to limit his possibilities. The first one we're going to cover is the center line position. Center line position means both hands are going to line up along your imaginary center line. So one is in the center, the other is in front of it. From the sideways position, the rear arm is around the level of your elbow, the front arm extends out like an antenna. By keeping your hands in this position, if your opponent truly wants to punch you, he's not going to hit your hand, so he's forced to come around this side or around that side. So what you've essentially done is eliminated the possibility of a straight punch. Now the advantage in this position is that when the punches are coming around, they are slower and easier to deal with. The disadvantage is if you come up to somebody in this position, you give away the fact that you have some self-defense knowledge and you kind of let them know a fight is going on. So we're going to start with this one first, hands up position. I'm going to be bringing up my assistant John, and we're going to show its relationship to the basic punches. Okay, as far as punching defense, we're going to cover the basic boxing type punches as they are the most common. That would basically cover the jab, the right, the hooks, and the uppercuts. The good news is we can almost eliminate the uppercuts from this hand position. The reason being is when our hands are out in this position and John moves closer, in order for him to throw a proper uppercut, he needs to be close enough. If my hands are in this position, it pretty much eliminates the possibility of that happening. So now we've limited ourselves to the straight punches and the hook punches. All right, so what we're going to do is a drill learning to keep our hands in the proper position. Not only do we want to keep our hands in our center line, but we need to keep them between our opponent's arms, which will force his arms around us. So the drill is basically this. I line up in my position, he lines up in a basic boxing stance, and he's just going to circle around me a little bit. And as he moves, I make sure that my fingers are constantly pointed to him. If he moves the other way, right, I shift the other way. So basically, I aim right at his nose. If he moves forward a little bit, I move backwards a little. If he backs up, I move in. And I learn to keep my distance this way. I always want to keep him one step away from me. If I'm this close to him and he decides to throw a punch, I may not react quick enough. But if I force him to have to take a step in, the punch becomes a lot slower because I'm actually reacting to his forward motion instead of his hand motion. So the basic rules of this is we want to keep him a step away, about approximately 4 to 5 feet. And we want to step in also. Natural reaction when he punches is to step away. What this has done is it allowed me to block the first punch, but now I have to deal with the second punch. The more punches he throws, the more likely I'm going to get hit. So what I want to do is when he comes in with his punch, I want to move in right away. From this position, I can strike him all I want. If he throws that other hand, all I have to do is put my head down. I'm basically inside his punching range. So for the basic punches, we're going to start with the jab and the cross. We're going to start with the left hand. What we're going to do, we're going to have our hands in the center. As he moves to step in with his punch, we're going to step straight into him. As we step in, we're going to cut across. Now this does a couple of things. We're going to be striking either the lung 6 point or the lung 5 point on the arm. Now in a real situation, you can't stop to look where you're hitting. Most of the time, you're going to catch one of those two, which is going to set his arm up. And we've turned our wrist in such a way that we can twist back and chop either into the front of the neck or the side of the neck points. So it's going to look something like this. He's punching, we chop, and strike across straight. So as he comes in, he punches quicker. 1, 2. Now, with my hands in this position, I have 2 lines of defense. If he punches and I miss with this one is still here. So what I'm doing is giving myself the opportunity to block with both hands and to strike with both hands. So I have 2 chances to stop his punches. Also, remember, in this position, he cannot throw a truly straight punch because he has to go around my arms. If he punches straight into my hand, he's not going to do that. So he either comes to one side or he comes to the other side. Based on how he comes, instead of watching him, I watch my hand. And I look at him through my hand, and wherever I see movement, that's the direction my hand travels. So the first technique we're going to cover is moving in, inward chop, and chop to the side of the neck. Dead center, this point's called large intestine 18. we want to come straight in. So as he punches, we move in, chop the arm, chop the neck. If we do it again, he comes in, 1, and chop. Now in practice, we do it slow, and we go 1, 2. In reality, we're going to move a little quicker, and we're right in there. Now, as soon as we throw that chop, good chance we're going to knock him out, but if we don't, look where this hand is, right into the jaw point. So now the technique becomes 1, 2, 3. And that gives you 2 shots right in a vulnerable area to take him out. So he punches, 1, 2, 3, coming right in. All right, let's move a little bit. Now we're going to do the same thing, similar to the drill we did before. We're going to move around. This is how you practice it. And when he's ready, he's going to throw a left. And then we're going to back up. When he's ready, he's going to throw the left. We move around, keep. Now, if you notice, I'm moving backwards to maintain distance. If he's just walking me down and just moving without punching, I don't want him to be this close, because now when he goes to punch, I may be slow and get hit. I keep my distance. This is where it's okay to walk backwards. This is where you dance around, you move. When he punches, though, you move in. So whenever you're ready to make contact with him, whether hitting the arm or hitting the neck, you move in, you don't move back. Okay, as we're doing the drill, we're backing up. When he throws his punch, that's the last forward step that he gets to take. So as soon as I move in, I start moving forward, I never stop moving forward, and I constantly move in until he is down. So basically, the only time I'm moving backwards is when we're out of range. I can move backwards, I move sideways, I do whatever I'm doing. When he moves in, I move in, and then it's a constant forward motion until he drops. So once you go back, you switch forward, that's it. No back and forth, you don't step back, you don't move away. All moving away does for you is allow him to punch you with the next arm. Most people do not function well going backwards. I take 1 or 2 steps, I may even trip over my own feet. If I'm moving backwards and he hits me, there's a good chance of me going down just because I'm off balance. If I'm moving forward and he hits me, even if I get hit, I could go right into grappling mode. It's the basic theory behind ground grappling is that the person, it's very hard to knock you out with that one punch. And if you're moving forward, even if you get hit, you're going to be able to grapple with them or lock onto them and give yourself time to recover. Okay, we covered the inside defense, which is basically working in. Now if he throws a right hand, what we're going to do is we're going to knock the arm to the outside. Now moving forward in this one becomes very important. If I'm facing him and he throws the right, if I block this way and he has a very strong punch, he's going to get through and hit me. So it's very important that I get in before his punch reaches true center. So what's happening is he's kind of going around my arm. Right now he's not in the center. Right? So if we turn this way, the camera can see it better. He's not in the center right now. But as he gets towards my face, boom, now he's here. If I look to move in here, I'm going to get hit. So what I need to do is as he punches, I move in here while his arm is still on the outside and strike to the jaw. The rear arm on this one becomes a little more important because if for any reason that this one doesn't work, this arm is here to pick it off. So I'm really having, again, 2 arms to block. So as he throws the punch, I block out, and I use the same palm and shoot into the jaw point. All right, we're not doing the chop first because this is the closest arm, so we're not going to reach out with this. So we're here, he comes in, 1, 2, and we're on the inside. Now after this palm, if you remember how the body works, you're going to hit him, and he's going to move. And that's our opportunity to come in with our kicking techniques. So we're going to show from the other side. And same thing, he's going to come in with the punch, we move in, 1, and we shoot into the jaw point. Okay, let's turn back. We're going to do the same drill we did before. We're going to move around. When he's ready, he's going to come in with the right hand. This way we can work a little more of the distance and the timing. So we're going to move around. I keep in his center. Whenever he's ready, I come in and strike. Good. Now that we did the left and the right, we're going to mix them together. Now it's up to him how he punches. We're going to move around. He's going to throw a left or a right. It really doesn't matter which one he throws. My job is to react to the first punch he throws. So just pick one. Good. Okay, so we have our straight punches. Now we're going to work our hooks. Sometimes he's going to see, if he's a smart fighter, he'll see my hands are in the middle. And he's going to try to loop in and go around my arms. As he does that, this is a very powerful motion using these muscles. We don't want to just, as he punches, stick our arm out, because if he's strong, he's going to hit you anyway. So we're going to use the theory of 2 arms against 1. We're going to rotate and chop. Rotate and chop. Now what's happening here is I'm going to be striking either 1, 2, 3, or a point in the bicep. One of those points, or both of them, will be struck when I do my blocking motion. So as he throws the hook, I'm chopping the arm. Without the padding, his arm would be down here right now, and I'm going to follow with the chop. So the basic movement is 1, 2, and if he came on the other side, it's the same thing, 1, 2. So now as he moves up a little bit, we're here, he moves in with the hook, 1, and chop. He hooks with the left, 1, and chop. Now after each of these chops, hook one more time, 1, we follow the chop, always with the palm. He comes on the other side, 1, 2, 3. So it's a nice smooth move, and we just follow his arm up into the jaw. He comes around, 1, chop, follow his arm up into the jaw point. Withdrawing this one, ready to strike again. Okay, we're going to continue with the center line position. So far, we've been using the lead arm. The reason for using the lead arm is it's closest to your opponent, and it acts like a feeler. When this arm is out here, I can pick up what's happening. He punches, it reacts. As a little bit more of a skilled fighter, you learn to use the rear arm. What this actually does is it puts your lead arm closer to what you want to hit. So remember, we're always thinking about what we want to hit, not about blocking. We're thinking aggressively. So when he throws a right punch, instead of blocking and hitting, theoretically, if I'm very slow and I block here, maybe he comes back with the other hand. So what I want to do is I just want to hit him. So as he comes forward, I just palm him. Now, most likely this palm is going to stop his punch, but if it doesn't, this hand was here to pick it off. Okay, so again, keep in mind that we're being aggressive. You keep your eye on your target. As we move around, whenever he's ready, he's going to throw that right hand. And I just move into strike. The blocking kind of happens by itself. I just move in. And I just move in, just like that. Now we do the similar thing with the left. He's throwing a jab. Before we chopped with the front hand, and we came back. This time we're going to focus to the stomach 9 point, opposite the Adam's apple, and we're going to chop straight in. So the move looks something like this. So as I move in, I'm going right for his neck, and the rear arm is going to pick off his punch. So as we're here, just come in with the chop. He comes in, come in with the chop. Get a little closer, a little quicker, come in with the chop, just like that. And we're going to do the same thing moving around. He's ready to throw the left, move in, just like that. So basically you have to shift your mentality from defensive to aggressive. Your hands are in position. You have basically 2 targets. You have the jaw, the front of the neck, and the side of the neck. That's actually 3 targets. If you're using your front arm, your hand just travels there. If you're using your rear arm, we're coming up to the jaw. If you're using this arm, you're shooting into the front. If you use the other side, we're coming right into the jaw. Now, if you don't like to use palms or you don't like to use chops, back fist works just as well. If he throws the left, I could back knuckle him in the point behind the jaw. If he throws the same left, I could back knuckle him to the temple or to the mental nerve coming down. So you can change the targets, but the theory is the same. If you don't like the palm on the other side, we could inward hammer behind the jaw. So we're just going to turn him a little this way. So originally we came in, we threw our palm, which worked well, but we could also hammer in that direction. So how you strike is really up to you, but make sure you're hitting points and make sure you're using the closest hand to the closest target. The next step is what some we call simultaneous. When he throws the hook punch, we blocked with 2 and we came in. And that was a good technique and it will work, especially if you're caught by surprise. He throws the punch, you want to stop the arm first. But again, if your hands are in this position, you should be in an aggressive mode. And when he throws the punch, we're going to attack right away, allowing us to follow up with our knee strike. So the basic move is we're here, and we're just shooting both hands out. If he was coming on the other side, it would go the other way. So from this position, he punches, I just move right into the neck. He punches with the other hand, I just move right into the neck. So if we come from the other side, same thing. He comes in with the hook, just shoot in. He comes in with the hook, just shoot in. And that leaves you a good opening for a knee shot or a follow-up hit immediately. Okay, our second fighting position is what we call a passive position. It's basically just like this. Now, you would use this position if you knew something was wrong and you wanted to get your hands ready to move, but you didn't want to alert the person that you were a martial artist or that you knew what you were doing. From this position, we've eliminated one possibility now. Now the person can't throw circular punches anymore. If I face John and he comes in with a hooking punch, I don't even have to move, and my arms are going to pick it off. So the only opportunity that's left to him is to punch through my arms, which would be a straight punch. What's very good about this is it allows me to go to the outside of his body. The first one took me inside and opened his arms up. This one is going to take me almost behind him. So from this position, what I'm going to do is focus most of my blows on large intestine 10 and 11, on the forearm, and with a chopping motion, we're going to hit his arm down. At the same time, there's a very good opening to the gallbladder 20 point in the back. So we're going to show it from this position. He comes in with his right hand, we chop it down, and the other hand is there, ready to be struck. So basically, as one arm chops, the other arm sets up. So it's crossing the hands and out, crossing and out. So we'll do it a little slower as he comes in. 1, 2. All right, one more time. 1, 2. All right, we'll do it on the other side. 1, 2. And remember that as it comes in, we're striking the arm. Without the padding, the arm goes numb, sets up the next point. Now again, if you don't like to use open hand or you use a system that closes the hand, you could use the fist the same way as he comes in, hammer fist in. Or if you want to use the jaw point, the triple Walmer 17 point behind the jaw, use your knuckles. He comes in, we chop, knuckle, back to front on that point. And again, whichever hand position you use, completely up to you. But keep in mind that when you're here, the closest thing to you is this region, and this hand is the best hand to use, then withdrawing this hand. So basically it would be one of 1, 2, or 3. Those are your 3 best options. Okay. Every now and then you're going to use this position and you're going to think he's throwing one punch and he's going to throw the other one. So maybe you think he's throwing the left and he throws the right, and you end up on the inside. That's fine. What's going to end up happening is instead of catching the large intestine point, you're going to catch the lung point. So as he comes in, you hit the arm down, and that completely exposes this side of his neck to the small intestine point in the corner of the jaw, to the jaw point, and to the stomach 9 point. So we'll show it on the other side. As he comes in, we chop it down right into this groove. Just let the forearm or the edge of the hand fit right into there. So he comes in with his left, we knock it down, we shoot up. And of course the other arm is there ready to strike back. If you have a choice, you always, if possible, when he throws a punch, you go to the outside. Being on the outside, if he tries to punch me, I can control him with this arm because he cannot cross his own body. But sometimes in the heat of things, you're going to make a mistake. You're going to move. You'll move to the inside. Make sure you chop nice and quick because this technique is going to stop this hand from hitting you. So if he tries to throw a right-left, this hit over here is what's going to stop that hand from coming at you. So again, you need to move a lot quicker. That's why if you have a choice or if you're really aware of what's happening, the punch comes in, go to the outside. You don't have to worry about that arm. You strike right to the back, gallbladder 20. All right, the next series of blocking drills we're going to use are going to be the most common ones that you're going to come in contact with, meaning your arms are in this position. Nobody walks around this way. So if you're not aware that a fight's happening, you're not going to be able to get into this position quick enough. So we're going to learn to block from this position. Now imagine you're walking down the street, there's a bug in your face, you swat it to the side. You don't go like this. It's a natural motion. So as it comes in, we slap. So it's a basic palm block. What we're going to develop that into is a double palm block, which is going to free this arm up. But we're going to start with the single one first. The single palm block is going to set the right hand up for striking. The double palm block is going to set the left hand up. They both work equally well. It's just a matter of what your follow-up techniques, what you like to do. We're going to turn this way. All right. We're going to first start with the basic stepping rules. Punches coming in, or a train is coming in at you, or a car is coming at you, get out of the way. As you get out of the way, though, we don't want to go sideways. If he throws a punch and I go sideways, I've avoided the blow, but I may not be able to reach him if he doesn't slide in all that much. So what I want to do is I want to step and move in on a 45 degrees. Right? Just step with your left, like a boxing, like a right. Okay. Right? Boom. Just like this. So I moved 45. If he punches very straight and I just move, I'm outside the punching range. Now I got hit in the shoulder. That's because I didn't block. That's why we always block. Point being is as the punch comes in, we step one way and push the other way. So basically I'm running away with my body and I'm throwing my hand that way. That gives me a lot of distance to defend with. So I have 2 chances to block. I'm actually slipping the punch and contacting it. So we're going to start with first basic technique. As he punches, we're going to shoot out and we're going to punch right to the rib point. We're going to switch the angle so we can catch the point. He comes in, we block, and the right fist is going to punch in an in and down motion right into the rib point. Now we're going to speed it up a little. We're not going to hit him with it. As he comes in, that's how fast the move is going to be. And as I withdraw the hand, I'm outside his body. I'm away from that arm. He'd be kind of like this. I could follow up different techniques. Using the same idea, if he was more aggressive or I took too big of a step, instead of using the arm, we're going to use the elbow. For the elbow, we want to try to catch the lower rib, liver 13, the one on the inside, or we can still use the rib points we just used. So now as he comes in, we're going to shoot the elbow in, and we're going to turn the other way to show that one. So as the right comes in, shoot the elbow right into the point. All right, let's come on this angle a little bit. All right, one more time. Step out of the way and hit. Now we're doing it kind of slow because we don't want to hurt him, but in reality, as he punches, the elbow's in there before he even extends his punch. So you don't want to wait for him to extend, because in reality, he's going to pull his hand back. So as he punches, we're in there with the elbow. But again, working with a partner, be careful when you're moving quick and he's moving quick. The impact can be much greater than you expect. Now, let's say you take a really big step. You got nervous, he punched. You took a big step. This is where the ball of the foot fits in nicely to one of those 2 points. So if you're in a style that likes to do a lot of kicking, you put yourself in the distance, which allows you to throw that kick. So we're going to turn this way, like on a side angle. That's it. So as he comes in, we've avoided, and we put the ball of the foot right in. Okay? What we're going to do now is we're going to use our free arm. Right? As we block, this is the free arm. It's still down here. We're going to use this to do certain techniques. The first one we're going to use is the collarbone, stomach 11 and 12. We're going to bring him to the ground using our fingers against the punching attack. And the way we're going to do it is as the punch comes in, we're going to let this hand slide through. So he punches, this slides through. And as it slides through, I'm going to stop it on those points. So he's going to come in, and I'm here. And we bring him down on those points. So we're going to show it from a different angle. Now remember, these points are most active when his arm is straightened. And his arm doesn't get any straighter than when he's punching. And you're going to have a really big hole in there, and your fingers are going to fit right in. So he comes in with the punch, we avoid, and we bring him down. Just like that. Second technique, using a similar idea. The punch is going to come in, we're going to do the same motion, but instead of stopping on the collarbone points, we're going to squeeze the small intestine 18 points. Body leverage is such as that when the punch comes in, if his head goes backwards, he's going to fall. There's no way about it. If your head goes past your shoulders, you fall. If I push on his chin and he has a strong neck muscle, he can resist me. But when I push on the points, he's going to go right back. So he's going to come in with the punch, I'm going to come up, and we're going to bring him down nice and easily. For practice purposes, you're going to put your rear arm, let's do it slow, behind your opponent so that their head doesn't hit the floor. So now I bring him down, and I just kind of keep a hand on his head. Because when you're controlling somebody's head, that tends to be the first thing to hit the ground. The third technique we're going to use, same entry, same stepping, is using the small intestine 17 points in the corner of the jaw. We're actually going to squeeze with a gripping motion. He's going to punch, we slide up, and we squeeze. And if we want, we can continue squeezing while we're on the ground. So we lock into these points. So we're just going to do this one slow. Slide up, hand is open. You go as high as you can. When you can't go anymore, you just squeeze together and compress and keep pushing. And you see the look on his face is a combination of pain and the fact that the blood is rushing to his head. It's actually the same manner as choking him this way, except we're just using 2 fingers. What you'll also notice is that while I'm here, if he cannot punch me, if he wants to punch me, I'm going to put my head down. So I could stay here all day and just work this technique. So I'm avoiding this hand. So the punch comes in, I can slide up under, I could slide into the collarbone, or I could slide under the cheekbone. Okay, we're going to continue with some more techniques using this free arm. What we're going to do is actually use this arm to trap his hand. If he throws a punch, there's really no way I'm going to grab his arm. But I can trap him at the elbow, and I'm going to trap him at the lung 5 point. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to throw one arm into the other arm. So this is the basic idea. He punches, I slap it, and I stop it. And as soon as I do this, I pull down. I take his balance, I throw that arm backwards, and I set him up for the knockout right here. So if he's coming this way, he throws the punch, I slap it, and I stop it with this arm. That's how we start the drill. We do it one more time, and we stop it. So it's actually hooked in there. Nice hook, his elbow and my elbow. Now we do the same thing, but as soon as I get to here, I drop the edge of my hand to my ribs, and I twist it, which brings him into me, exposing the gallbladder 20 point in the back, and the triple warmer 17 point behind the jaw. So I could punch him there, palm him there. So if we do it a little bit quicker, he punches, boom, and he's down. Let's try it from the other angle. All right, same thing, and he's down, just like that. Last one we're going to cover is using the rear arm to actually attack the opposite side. He's going to throw the punch. This arm is down here. It's going to shoot up into the neck region. And we're actually going to hit that stomach 9 point. Now in training, fighters are taught to keep the other arm up. And that's fine for training, but in reality, most of the time they're punching this way. If the person had his arm up, obviously we use a different technique. So let's assume that he's not protecting completely. The punch comes in. We're going to use the inside edge of our hand to strike into the front of his neck. So he punches, and this shoots in, coming in this way. For any reason this one doesn't drop him, the other hand shoots back on the opposite side. So we'll show it from the other angle. So he comes in with the punch, we lock here, and we strike. Let's just come slightly this way. All right, one more time. He steps, hit into the neck, and palm. This should put him right down, because as you step, you're throwing your hand in 45 degrees in and down, right into this point, next to the Adam's apple. Okay. Another way of working the block is instead of using a single block, that kind of crosses our body and limits what we can do. We're going to make contact with our left, and then pick it off with the right. So the drill looks something like this. The punch comes in, and it's 1-2, and we're going to slow that down. So as he comes in slow, we're going to block near the wrist, near the elbow, and this would be our striking arm, wherever we're going to go. A very good drill to practice this is the wrist, elbow, shoulder drill. And the idea is like playing patty cake. When he comes in, 1, 2, 3. And that third shot can be a hit to any choice target that you choose. So as he comes in, 1, 2, 3. He does it again, 1, 2, 3. He goes with the opposite side, 1, 2, 3. We're going to slow it down this way we can break down what we're doing. As the punch comes in, we do the same palm block. Now we're a little crossed up, so the other hand is going to come underneath your arm and just slap. This arm, which is already up here, is your striking arm. So we're going to do it a little bit slow. 1, 2, and we can strike wherever we're going. For practice, we go to the shoulder. So we're going to do it slow again. 1, 2, 3. Now your goal is to complete those 3 before this foot hits the ground. So you don't want to go 1, 2, 3. He's going to pull back. He's going to hit you with the other hand. A way to practice that is to stand on one leg. As he punches, just do that. 1, 2, 3. So get used to the idea that you're going to finish that shot as you hit the ground. And now when we speed it up, 1, 2, 3, and we're in. This also has the effect of pulling his arm in, because each one slightly pulls this way. 1, 2, and extension. Now the first target we're going to go with this is we're going to keep it simple. We're going to stay on the arm. We're going to use the triple warmer 12 point, right in the hole of that tricep. And what we want to do is as he comes in, 1, 2, and we want to hit it with our forearm. And what that's going to do is it's going to lock his arm out and bring him forward. So as he punches, we're here, we bump it, which sets him up for a variety of different things. Done quickly, as you actually strike here, this arm is going to pull, potentially dislocating his shoulder or his elbow joint. All right, let's show it from the other side. Use the left again. So he's here, boom. And again, we're using the back part of the arm. We're not hammering it, we're just bumping it. We're also not grabbing. What we're doing with the rear arm is we're allowing it to just pull towards us. So I don't have a grip. If he's sweaty or something, I'm going to slide off. All I want to do is I knock it out, and as this one goes forward, this one comes back. In practice, you cannot practice both motions because you're going to make a mistake and hurt his elbow. So the way you practice it, you do this quick, you pull it first, and then you bump. Then if you want to practice the whole motion, you do it very slowly and just get used to that idea. So we're going from the arm to the triple warmer 12 point to bring him down. Now, if you follow through with this, we can bring him right to his knees and right down to the ground without ever touching his head, his neck, or his body. All right, the next one we're going to do is striking to the gallbladder 20 point with our palm. As he throws his punch, we're going to block, and the palm is going to fit right into that spot. Now the rear arm, if we grab it, great. Right now I have a good hold of it. In reality, I may not get it, but what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm pulling it down. So as I step in, I'm just going to let my arm, the weight just drops. I'm going to try to pull it, but if I miss it, it really doesn't matter. It's not consequential. So I'm here, and palm coming up. Same technique coming in. We don't want to reach that high, or the person's very tall. We're going to come to the gallbladder 25 point and strike going in. It's important when we strike this way that we turn the palm outward. If the palm goes this way, his upper body gets in the way and actually puts me in a finger lock, and it's going to hurt my wrist. So I come from my ribs, and I shoot in to his ribs in a straight line. What you don't want to do is step out and slap. You want to keep this tight to your body. So you're going to step, slide it in, and strike out. So we'll do this one a little bit quicker. Straight in, one more. Just like that. And now what we're going to do is combine the first two. He's going to throw his punch. We're going to bump the arm, and we're going to go right to the head point or to the kidney point, depending on how far he goes forward. So he punches just like that. Now, I chose this one because after the first shot, he went too far down. Let's assume you do it and you miss this point. Nothing happened. You shoot, bounce, and shoot right into the next spot. So you miss one spot, don't stay there. Continue your motion. All right, if you follow the general rule of moving forward, which you should always follow, moving in as you block, you'll notice that as he punches, there's not very much room to kick. But there is room to use your knees. So what we're going to do is we're going to target the gallbladder 31 point. He's going to punch. We've blocked, and we strike straight into that point. That point alone will bring him down, but if it doesn't, when it's struck, it brings his head close to us to follow up with the palm. So as he comes in, we're here. It brings him closer for that palm. So he's actually running into your palm strike, amplifying its power. So as he comes in, block, knee, and strike. If he stepped with his left, a big step, but he punched this way, and this seemed too far away for you, we can kick the spleen 11 point and basically shoot our kick in that way and drop him. If you notice, his leg just buckled. We'll show that from the other side, this way you can see the leg. So he steps with his left, or he's closer, and you've blocked. We throw the kick in, and you can see the buckling. If you extend that kick, he's going to fall. So 90% of the time he punches and you're in close, your hands are your best weapon. The kicks are rarely used in this situation. Where we do use kicks is after we strike. Whatever's going on, I do something, I hit him, and he starts to move away. Instead of chasing him with my hands, that's when you come in with the kicking techniques. So generally, kicking is a follow-up to the hand techniques. They're very strong, but they're not as accurate or as coordinated as the hands. And as soon as you lift your leg, if he's moving aggressively, you're off balance. You want to have your balance. You want to be able to block. Maybe you want to stun him with a shot. Now, if you want to kick, it's a good opportunity to put your kicking techniques in there. Same blocking, 1-2, but instead of going to the outside, again, sometimes you mistime it or you misjudge which arm he's throwing, we're going to go to the inside. This opens up a lot of possibilities. This opens up the chop to stomach 9, okay? So we're going to turn it this way so we can see it. So as he comes in, we're right into here. So we'll do it slow. So 1, 2, 3. Ready? One more time. 1, 2, 3. And we'll do it a little bit quicker. 1, 2, 3. This also opens up the back fist strike behind the jaw or to the mental nerve, depending on how he turns his head. Same way, we're here, coming straight down onto that point. And if he twists a little bit more into it, it's going to open up the back of the jaw there. We could also work the elbow into this situation. If you overextend with the first block, the elbow could fit in to the triple warm-up point or even to the side neck point. So now as he punches, he's a little closer. You're here, pull the elbow, and drop the point right in there. There's a drill that we use that we call a speed hands drill. So we're going to turn a little bit. And the idea is to work your hands in this motion. This is a nice, relaxed, circular motion. He's going to punch, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the idea is to try to get that in less than half a second. If you can do this, you're never going to hit anybody 7 times because by 2, 3, or 4, they're going to be down. You're training yourself to move very quickly where one technique is going to be very fast. In order to do this drill, you need to be smooth. So I can do it slow, but if you notice, my hands are never going to stop moving. I don't want to do this. I don't want to go. No matter how fast I go, it's very choppy. I want to constantly flow and down. And it's also training me to hit the neck, jaw, mental nerve, jaw and triple warmer, and bladder points in succession without thinking too much about it. So he's going to punch, and we're just going to come through. Well, we'll do it one more time. He comes in, and we come around. All right, so we just covered the straight punches. As he comes in with the punch from relaxed position, we've double tap blocked, and we've single blocked. Now what we're going to do is, let's say our arms are down, he comes up, he tries to kill us with that right hand, throwing a hooking motion. We're going to let both hands come up, and the basic reaction is this: 1, 2. So as he comes in, 1. We chop the arm in both spots, follow up with our techniques. If he comes on the other side, 1, 2, 3. What's very important here is that the arm are spaced at least 8 to 12 inches apart. If they're too close, it's the same effect as him punching and you using one arm. He's going to get through it. If your arm is here, he's getting through. By using two arms, it actually forces his arm to straighten out. And it also doubles your chance of catching at least one arm pressure point. Now there's a drill that we use to work this technique. It's a two-person drill. We start with our feet to the side, and you alternate two punches. So I'm going to start the drill by punching, he blocks, and then he punches. Now, we want to hit with the edge of our hand, we want to paralyze their arm, but not in practice. So when you practice, we're going to use our palms. So remember, when he punches, in reality, we're chopping. For practice, we're just going to slap so that we don't cause injury and we can work up a good pace. So we're going to start it again. All right, we're going to pick up the speed. Okay, we're going to amplify the drill now. What we're going to do is we're going to start adding counterattacks. This way, as soon as you make contact, your body knows what to do. There's no more thought process. So what we're going to do is he's going to punch, we're going to block, and remember, in real situation, edge of the hand, and we're going to chop. He comes with the other side, we rotate, and chop. Then your partner goes, and the other side. And then he comes back. 1, 2. Again, sometimes you need some coordination for these drills. You'll get it with practice. 1, 2, 1, 2. And the idea is to put 1 and 2 together fast. So when he comes in, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, we're going to add the next stage. We've come to the arms, we've hit the neck. We're in perfect position to grasp for a knee strike. The knee strike can go to the inner thigh point, the spleen 11 point, or it could come up to the ribs or the bladder points. So what's going to happen now is he's going to punch 1, 2, 3. Then he goes on the other side. 1, 2, 3. Now it's his turn. 1, 2, 3. Other side, he chose the leg point. 3. Now it's my turn. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Doing drills in this manner takes away the thought process. So now after a while you're doing it, and it's just, and you're not thinking. So now something comes in, he punches, you just go right to your technique. There's no thought. Once your body started the motion, it automatically knows what to do. The next drill that we're going to use is to help us with our straight punches. This time what we're going to do is he's going to throw an inverted punch to my jaw. We're just doing that so that the punch is very straight. As he punches, I'm going to block. Now when we do a drill, we're not using a realistic range. Of course he can't hit me and I can't hit him. That's why it's a drill. In reality, when he punches, he moves in, I move in, we're closer. Drill range is about here. Our feet are out to the side. We're just working the timing of the arms. So he punches, I block. Now when I punch him, he does the block. 1, 2, he punches with the other hand. I punch. Start with the right.
Okay.
Right, left. Now you punch. Slap, slap. That's it. You punch. Ready? Slap. That's it. Hey, you punch. Now you want to build this up as quick as you can go. All right, now he wants to try to catch that punch quick. So now there's no real thought process, at least for me yet. He's still thinking about the move, so he's going a little slower. And it just happens. 1, 2, 3. And then you could change the techniques as time goes on. You pick a combination that you like to use. So basically the drill is block, block, hit. And then your partner block, block, and as he hits, you start on the other side. And you go to the other side. And you go to the other side. And this works basically when he punches, you get used to doing this motion nice and fast. No thought. 1, 2, hit. This works the hooking punch motion. All right, so far all three systems that we use are very effective. They work very well, but they have one limitation. What if your opponent approaches you from a sideways position? In a sideways position, your center is no good. In a sideways position, this arm is no longer the closer arm. If John throws a punch towards my face, this is not closer anymore. When I'm facing him, this is the quickest way to move. From a sideways position, this is the quickest way to move and trap the arm. If he threw the left hand the same way, it wouldn't really matter. I come around. So what we're going to work is, from sideways, he's going to come straight to your face with the left. We're going to circle and ridge hand strike to the back, and then follow with our palm. So since we're making a circle to block, we're going to continue with the circle and then speed it up with the straight technique. So it's going to look something like this. You're going to step into it. 1, 2, 3. So we're still following the rule of when the punch comes in, I'm knocking his arm to my backside, but I'm stepping around with it. So it's almost similar to doing this, but I'm just using this arm as I do it. So I'm sideways, he comes in, I step. We either strike this side if we have short arms, or if we have long arms, we could reach to the opposite side and strike it back towards us. Once we follow with that, we let the palm shoot right out. So I'm going to show it one more time, a little bit quicker. And slide up. Ready? One more. He's here. And slide up. Now, if he punches on the inside, meaning using his right hand, the move is the same, except the follow-up is going to be right under the jaw. So this arm stays here. He punches, we step, and we shoot underneath. So we're sideways, step, and shoot underneath. This also opens up the possibility, if he's throwing a hook, of getting a lock this way. Once we have this lock, a basic shoulder lock, we can trap it and even go into the points in the collarbone to bring him down. But again, when you're caught off guard, which if he's attacking sideways you will be, you want to just come in with your strikes. So as he's here, you could let the palm come up, you could let the ridge hand hit the side of the neck, you could even use a hammer fist and come in behind the jaw. Again, depending on what techniques you prefer to use. Even an elbow strike, if you stepped in close, would fit into the side of the neck region and give you a good shot. Okay, the next forward motion we're going to deal with is pushing. In previous tapes, as we pushed, we would lock the arms because it's already struck us. Now we're dealing with motion. We don't want to let it touch us. First thing we're going to do is very similar to what we did against the punches. As he comes in with the push, we're going to double block and strike. So basically, all we did, do it slow, is 1, 2, 3. He's coming with 2 arms, but there's no difference as if he punches with 1 arm. Something to keep in mind is the better you get in the martial arts, the less likely somebody's going to grab you. If he tries to choke me, we've done techniques to make him let go. Now that we've learned moving attacks, if he tries to choke me, I'm not going to let him choke me. So learning how to move the arms out of the way is the most important, because then you can eliminate the need to know how to get out of holds. Nobody's going to get you in a hold. There are really 2 major directions to always watch out for. That's forward and circular. Punches can come straight, right, on either side, and punches can come around. But any type of a grabbing attack has to come forward. If he wants to choke me, it's forward. If he wants to grab my arm, it's forward. It doesn't matter. It's coming straight in at me. It's not going to come around. So forward is a more common motion than any of the other ones. And in order to deal with it, the rules are the same. We step off the line of attack, we block, pick up with the other hand, and strike back. Now, let's say we started in close and we couldn't, he throws the push and we couldn't move off to the side. What we're going to do is we're going to keep his motion going by making a very big circle. So as he pushes, we slam the arms together and follow with a chopping technique. What's happening is, as he pushes, we're lifting. Now he's going to start to press down, and we bring them together, and it doesn't matter which side you chop with. So as he moves forward, you move back, slam, and chop. And then you would follow with your kicks if the need arised. The next application for the pushing is going to be crossing. Let's say you don't have time to step at all. We're going to cross the arms and come in with the chop or the poke to CV22 in the neck. When we do this one, we actually want to move forward. So as he comes in, we don't want to move back anymore. We see he's being aggressive. One goes up, one goes down. We pin it into his body, and then we start to move him, and then we follow up with our shot. So as he comes in, we move in and strike. Balance when somebody crosses their arms is very important. If his arms are up and I push him, he can resist me. As soon as I cross his arms, he has no balance. The body gets confused when the arms cross. So when he pushes and I cross his arms, it's very easy for me to knock him back. More importantly than knocking him back, I stop his forward motion. He's not just doing this. His weight's coming in. I've stopped his motion, and that allows me to finish with my strikes or kicks. We're going to be demonstrating one of our instant knockout shots. The way we're going to be targeting is the stomach 9 point in the side of the neck. And what we're going to be using is our forearm. The reason for using the forearm is, with little training, the swing of the forearm is a very powerful blow, and it doesn't have to be as focused as, let's say, using the edge of the hand or even the fingers or a punching technique. With this motion, this could come after blocking a punch. This could come off of a grabbing. For his safety, we're just going to demonstrate it off him grabbing. This way, we minimize the motion and nobody gets injured. So we're going to have John grab nice and tight. We're going to focus on this point. We're going to use the forearm. Stop. And we're going to bring him right down. All right, once we maintain grappling position, both arms are in position to strike him. So rather than bringing him to the ground with a throw, we're actually going to do a knockout technique involving the area around the temple, which are some points that we haven't really covered. We're going to slap we have the temple, the corner of the eye, and the bridge of the eyebrow, which forms a nice big circle that's just going to get slapped. And on the other side, we're going to use the ridge hand to strike gallbladder 20. From grappling position, as we're searching for a move, this hand is free to strike here. This hand is free to strike here. So what we're going to do is we're going to lock up, we're going to bring him down, and we're going to show the basic knockout, and he's going to drop. Okay, the last point on the shoulder region is exactly at the apex of the trapezius muscle. So basically we divide his neck and his shoulder in half this way, and we divide it in half this way. And this is where we're going. We could actually press it and get some effect. Because this is a big muscle, the muscle actually protects and the point lies underneath it. So generally we want to strike it inward this way or using our forearm. If he was coming forward like to shoot to do the takedown, we would actually use our forearms on this point to stop him. Because of the angle, we may not knock him out, but what we'll do is stop his motion, which will allow us to set up something else. What we're going to do is just show this point the effect of it. We're going to have him throw a punch, we're going to block it, and we're just going to put some downward pressure. And the thing to watch for is his legs. Watch where his legs go. So as he comes in, we come down, and we drop him down. Okay, as previously explained, the more pressure points you hit, the more damage that you do. So if he were to grab me in a real situation, I would be using one of the arm points, one of the body points, or one of the leg points before I came to the jaw point. What that would do is it would make it actually weaker. But what I want to actually just show you is how, with no setup at all, this one point becomes very sensitive. So as he grabs, we're just going to come from this position. I'm going to go slow so I don't injure him. We're going to come up in the up and out direction. I'm going to have him bite down real tight so he doesn't hurt his teeth. All right, so I'm going to look straight. He's grabbing. We're not going to use a setup. We're going to come in, and it's going to bring him down. We sit him up. We have a special revival that we use to wake him back up a little. All right. Okay, at this point I'd like to go over the proper revival techniques. The purpose of the revival techniques is to wake your partner up if you do a knockout, but most importantly it's to make sure that he doesn't have any adverse effects. What can generally happen if you knock somebody out, they will wake up on their own, they won't just stay asleep forever, but when they wake up they're going to have headaches, their stomach's going to hurt, they're just going to feel almost like they have a hangover. With the proper revival, you're restoring energy, basically that you took away with the strike, and you eliminate that effect. The first type of revival is what we call arm revival. Basically, any of the arm points that we strike. When you strike it, what we're going to do is we're going to actually stop energy to that point. So we hit it, the arm goes to sleep. Now, he's feeling a pulsing right now. That hurts. The way we wake it up is we hit the exact same point with an open palm with approximately half the power with a slap. And then we massage the area. And we repeat that. Slap and massage it. And after you do that, he should have full use of his hand again. So the arm revival is basically simple. Whatever you hit it again. But you hit it with half the force, and instead of hitting it with a focused area, we hit it with a flat palm, and we just massage the area. Flat palm, massage the area. And that'll bring your partner's arm back. This way when you're training, you hit those points, you can practice it more than once. As far as the head, the neck, the body, we do a technique like we did. We strike, he falls down. All right, he'll tend to just be laying down basically. The first thing we want to do is we want to sit him up. So we grab him by the head. Okay, now if he's really out, he won't fold his own legs, so you're going to fold his legs. We want to keep our knee in the base of his spine. We want to keep our hand on his head. Now if we struck him on this side, we want to revive on this side. If we struck him on this side, we revive on this side. Where we're going to be reviving is right next to the spinal cord. There's something called the bladder meridian. I'm going to show it on myself actually. Not over here, a little bit over, right in this line. This is called the wake-up nerve. Similar to the arm points, we're going to slap it and massage. Slap it and massage. At this point, he should be awake. He may still feel groggy, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our thumb and forefinger, we're going to place it at the base of his back with the spine running in the center, and we're going to run our hand up his spine a couple of times. In Chinese medicine, they say all energy in the body is stored in the kidney region. And when you do this, according to the theory, you're bringing the energy back up into the head. Medically, most likely, you're just stimulating the nerves that go into the neck and head area, and it's waking him up. But either way, the function is what matters, not what causes it. After you finish that, to restore more energy, we're going to start with the hands. Again, in acupuncture and Chinese medicine, each finger controls a different part of the body. So for example, the pinky finger is considered the heart. The ring finger is considered what they call the pericardium. The index finger is the large intestine. So what you're going to do is you're going to pinch, starting at the pinky finger, and pull. Pinch, pull. You should feel like a popping sensation. If anybody ever got a Chinese massage before, this is what they do. They massage the points. They pop the fingers. And what that does is it wakes up and stimulates all of the nerves. And that covers the revivals. Okay, let's remember the rules for blocking. Make the most sense, keep you the safest. We move in, but we move in on a 45-degree angle. So basically, move off the line of attack. Car's trying to run you over, get out of the way. As you get out of the way, your arms go in the opposite direction, creating as much distance as possible. As you're stepping also, work on hitting the points. Focus on the different points. You step, hit a point, hit a point. And remember, most likely in a punching situation, it's going to be up close. Your arms are your primary weapon. The legs come as a follow-up. You step in, you hit, the person starts to move away, you come up with your legs. You don't want to step, be off balance, start to kick, and then have the person knock you down. As with anything else, when you're practicing the punches, you need to use extra caution because if you slip up, you may injure your partner. We recommend that you wear some type of boxing gloves or some type of padding. Control. Work it slow, do it slow, go through the movement so you feel comfortable. Then you can build up the speed, move into more of a random type attack.